Welcome back to the Urban Review, your weekly recap of the stories that made headlines in Santa Barbara. Going back all the way to last Sunday, a man is under arrest following a high-speed chase on northbound Highway 101. It started just before 2 in Santa Barbara. Traffic was stopped for about half an hour. The suspect allegedly hit an officer's car during the chase. The driver eventually stopped just north of the Mariposa Arena exit. No one was hurt in the chase.
Some of Disneyland's most popular rides had to close down for some time after state safety regulators cited the park last week. The reason, a spokesperson for Disney says a worker was hurt back in November while doing maintenance on Space Mountain. Officials with the park voluntarily shut down the roller coaster along with the Matterhorn and Soarin' over California.
On Monday, a federal, state, and local investigation went underway in Boston after back-to-back bombings at the Boston Marathon. 3 people were killed and dozens wounded, many seriously. The first explosion went off at the finish line of the Boston Marathon 4 hours into the race. Seconds later, another explosion nearby. Police and emergency crews scrambled to attend to the wounded. Many were transported from the scene in wheelchairs and on stretchers.
2 teenage boys are facing arson charges accused of starting a small fire along the railroad tracks in Santa Barbara. It happened near the 500 block of West Cannon Perdido around 6 Monday night. The Santa Barbara Police Department says the fire was quickly spotted and put out. The sheriff's helicopter just happened to be in the area at the time and helped in the search. Investigators say the boys were smoking marijuana and playing with fire. No one was hurt and no structures were damaged.
Tuesday, Dario Pini had a court appearance where he pled not guilty to burglary. Neighbors near the victim's house, located on 316 West Correa Street, told Santa Barbara police they saw Pini twice on the victim's property. Pini told a witness who confronted him that he had permission to be there. Pini was arrested last month. Police say Pini took copper tubing, water heater pipe fitting, and other things. However, none of those items were in Pini's possession at the time of his arrest. A preliminary hearing date is set for April 26.
Convicted rapist Tibor Karzai has been released from Kalunga State Hospital. He's now registered as a transient sex offender. Karzai will live in a motorhome in several remote locations in northern Santa Barbara County. Karzai was convicted of sexually assaulting a 19-year-old woman in 1975 and sentenced to 8 years in prison. He was convicted of another sexual assault the same year. He was released and sentenced to 26 years. Sheriff's officials say Karzai will wear a GPS monitoring device at all times.
New self-parking systems are now in use at several waterfront lots in Santa Barbara. The self-pay machines are replacing the kiosk at Palm Park, Harbor West Garden Street, and the Cabrillo lots. Drivers can use cash and both credit and debit cards to buy a $3 ticket for 3 hours or a $7 ticket for all-day parking. But if they buy the 3-hour ticket, they have to get back before it expires. The lots are patrolled regularly to make sure everyone there has paid for a spot.
The Santa Barbara City Council held a public discussion Tuesday night about possible changes to the Lower State Street project taking place right now. They decided not to jeopardize the Law and Charter projects and no changes will be made. Currently, the plans to reduce the street from 2 lanes in each direction to 1 lane each way from the railroad tracks to the beach. But some city council members and community members and businesses in the area expressed concern, saying the plan may not be too welcoming to visitors heading into downtown and the revitalized Funk Zone and may create congestion, safety hazards, and will limit businesses who need to get delivery trucks and service trucks in and out. But on the other side, there was a lot of concern that this would delay and potentially stop the Law and Charter project from moving forward, and the city would lose jobs and property tax and sales revenue.
Moving down to Oxnard, sheriff's deputies say a known gang member tried to run down an undercover officer Wednesday night. It happened in Oxnard, and a Ventura County sheriff's helicopter tried to find the man after he rammed an undercover vehicle and took off. The officer was not hurt. However, the suspect, wanted for burglary and other charges, got away. The public is urged to keep a watchful eye for any suspicious activity.
Back to Santa Barbara, Cartage Health System employees have a way to live and work in the city thanks to the opening of the Bella Riviera development. Bella Riviera is located on Mitchell Terrena and San Sepúlveda Street. It has 81 affordable condominiums featuring 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. It was built because of the high cost of homes in the city and the fact that 20% of Cartage employees have a long commute to get to work.
The Extra Step Awards are a joint recognition between the Kiwanis and the Santa Barbara Police Department, and on Wednesday, each award winner was presented with a certificate for their efforts. It all happened at the Mesa Cafe. One of the winners helped with a program to prevent homelessness. Another saved the life of an overdose victim. The third winner saved the life of the police chief's wife as she was choking at a restaurant. And the fourth winner is Raul Peña, a busboy who saved a woman from a sexual assault. He said he stopped the guy and then called security.
On Thursday night, an MIT campus police officer was shot and killed by two gunmen as he was responding to a disturbance call. A police shootout and chase in Watertown, Massachusetts soon followed. The shootout left one of the suspects dead. This after the FBI released photos and video of the Boston bombers. Homeland Security, National Guard, and police, among other agencies, converged in Watertown looking for the second suspect. Both suspects were identified as those responsible for the Boston bombings.
In lighter news, the Santa Barbara Zoo just added a new member to its growing family. After weeks and weeks of watching and waiting, Audrey, one of the two pregnant giraffes at the Santa Barbara Zoo, gave birth. Audrey was in labor for just over 2 hours when a baby boy finally made his way out, and it took the little guy 50 minutes to come to his feet. And Betty Lou is the other pregnant giraffe at the zoo, and is expected to give birth any day now.
A piece of art in downtown Santa Barbara is getting a lot of attention for all the wrong reasons. The brick art piece is called The Crescent Crossing, and it's in the 600 block of State Street near Ortega. Business owners and passers-by say it attracts a crowd of transients, many who are not just sitting on the bench like pieces of art, but also begging for money and laying out their belongings in the walkways. The police department wants the artwork taken out and moved to another location. The art community says it wants the structure to stay. For now, it's here to stay.
Back to Boston. Friday, 5 days of terror are over as authorities capture the second suspect in the Boston bombings alive. 19-year-old Johar Sarniev was rushed to the hospital with a serious wound to his neck after nearly bleeding to death inside a Watertown residence boat. Sarbayev will be charged with terrorism.
Moving to Saturday, travelers can expect possible flight delays beginning Sunday. In a move that reflects flights at the Santa Barbara airport, the Department of Transportation is cutting $637 million from its budget. The FFA plans to cut air traffic control tower staffing by 10% at major hubs. The Santa Barbara airport says it doesn't expect delays out of Santa Barbara. That's because its non-stop flights to San Francisco, Denver, Seattle, Phoenix, and Los Angeles are major hubs. Viva la Fiesta! There's a new Spirit of Fiesta. 18-year-old Corey Jimenez of San Marcos High School was named this year's winner. 11-year-old Kehlani Cordero of Washington Elementary School won Junior Spirit. 22 of Santa Barbara County's most talented young dancers competed for the titles on Saturday. Congratulations!
And finally, people in Santa Barbara celebrated Earth Day this weekend. This year's event features more than 250 vendors, all highlighting new eco-friendly products and technology and teaching people the importance of living a greener lifestyle. Attractions include the longest-running public green car show in the U.S. and a free bike valet, just to name a few. The local Earth Day celebration is hosted by the Community Environmental Council. This year's Environmental Hero Awards go to attorney and author Van Jones and National Science and Green TV show host Bill Nye. This is the 43rd year for the Earth Day Festival.
Today's discussion topic is Santa Barbara's birthday. Did you know that today, April 21st, is Santa Barbara's 231st birthday? It was founded on this day back in 1782. What do you think about that, Oscar?
Yeah, I mean, Santa Barbara definitely has a rich history, stemming all the way back from when the Spaniards had control of these lands, and then Mexico took over that once they gained their independence, and so that's why you see a lot of the Spanish/Mexican culture. And it's just really interesting to me that even though the U.S. took these lands from Mexico during the Mexico-American War, that they chose to retain that same culture. So that's really interesting.
I really like the way Santa Barbara chooses to incorporate its history with our day-to-day lives, from the buildings to the music to the various festivals we have. My favorite festival is Fiesta, and just I love seeing Santa Barbara come together and celebrate our Spanish heritage, as well as incorporating the Mexican culture into it as well, and all the beautiful dancing. Just a great time to celebrate Santa Barbara, and it's just wonderful.
And for this week's upcoming events, we have the Special Olympics at the Santa Barbara City College La Playa Stadium. That's Friday, April 26th from 9 to 11 in the morning. Festivals for a Cause Inc. hosts their beer festival to raise money for children's organizations in southern Santa Barbara County. Saturday, April 27, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Chase Palm Park on Cabrillo Boulevard. You do have to be 21 and older. Cost is $35 to $50. And the Mental Wellness Walk. It's going to be an easy to moderate 3-mile walk to support the Recovery Learning Center. Sunday, April 28 at 8 a.m. at Manning Park. And the annual Santa Barbara Jewish Festival is here again. Sunday, April 28, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Oak Park. All ages are welcome, and the cost is free.
We're going Hollywood. This weekend at Earl Warren Showgrounds is the Santa Barbara Fair and Expo. Tickets do cost a small price, but if you bring a pair of shoes, gently used shoes, you can get free admission on the 24th. Next Saturday on April 27th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. will be the Search and Rescue Benefit Concert featuring the John Corbett Band. They'll be playing at the Figueroa Mountain Brewing Company on 45 Industrial Way in Buellton. To get tickets, please log on to Facebook and search Search and Rescue Benefit Concert.
And that does it for this week's show of the Urban Review.
Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.